everyone. Chances are, as you're watching this very moment, I'm somewhere in my local game store at a store championship fighting to make it to the top 8 card with this deck. So hopefully I fine-tuned it enough since recording this video to stand a chance at winning lots of games. So this is a deck that I've been exposed to courtesy of Netrunner. I played against him. I lost very badly to him, but he told me about one of his store championships he went for, where the winner played a deck that looked like this, using Tricks of Light instead of Biotic Labor to score agendas, and using the new Wayland Space Ice as a means to hold these advancement counters, which I found very a stroke of genius, basically. Because these Space Ice are so strong, and they only cost 2 influence, so I mean, in a deck with 17, in an ID with 17 influence, why not? So I'm gonna give this a shot. It's slightly more janky than the typical Astrobiotics, but that's what I like about it, because it isn't straight up Astrobiotics. Alright, enough about that. Let's look at my opening hand. It is actually really good, because you see Wraparound, which is your HQ Ice and the Run Ice, and an Astro Script, which you want to see, because once you enable some sort of fast advance, you can play the Astro Script and chain from there. But I decided to mulligan because I was playing a friendly game against one of my sparring buddies, my very good friend indeed, and I decided that since he was playing Andromeda, I'm going to mulligan for a chance at that Sweet Squeak. I didn't get that, but what I did get were 2 pieces of ice and a hedge fund, so I'm off to a good start. This is my second turn. I install Daily Business Show, and I'll leave it at that. He does security testing. There's nothing much I can do about this unless I choose to go remoteless, or rather only protected remotes, which is not really an option here. So alright, on my next turn, I drop into a pop-up window, which immediately goes on R&D, because R&D now is very porous. The ice on R&D is either a wormhole or a nebula. I think it's a wormhole, and that is problematic when you have no other ice res. So this is a problem of the deck. The space ice are actually not effective until mid to late game, where the runner has programs out and you have rest ice to take advantage of wormhole. Until then, it's no threat. So the only threat that the space ice pose is their presence on the board, which means that they cannot freely account siphon or indexing for fear that I could res it against them. So right now I'm just trying to build up my board state on my central servers. In the meantime, he does build up quite a bit of cash, and now I see what he's going for. He's playing Stealth ND. So inside I'm actually cackling quite a lot, because Stealth ND isn't very good against Space Ice, but more on that later. So I draw into my breaking news, and I immediately decide to score my first breaking news, so that I only need 3 more 2-pointers to win the game. I wanted to get rid of it from my hand because he could be playing Sneak Door Beta, and even if he doesn't, he could run me very soon, so I want to avoid that. I want to make sure I get my agendas out. And here, a very unlucky Daily Business Show revealed 2 NAPDs, so I had to take 1 to my hand. Here, I attempt a very bold play of trying to score breaking news behind a remote. If I can get this off, I can burn one of his resources. I'm just hoping he doesn't play Inside Job. Sure enough, he doesn't. I got very lucky there. This risk pay off, and as a result, I get to trash his loaded KD Jones on 9 credits. But that didn't really set him back, because he basically security tested every turn before this. So he gets 3 credits every single turn. And now that he has all his breakers up, he goes for my legwork tick. Thankfully, his barrier breaker is a breach. You're always very happy to see that against criminal, because that means that they're paying 2 credits instead of 1 to get through your wraparound. And he sees 3 cards, none of which is the NAPD that I had to draw into my hand, so that was a very lucky dig for me. But he made the right move here. He actually trashed my Sand City Grid. So turning off my fast advance option, I need to dig for my Tricks of Light instead. But with 2 Sands and 3 Tricks of Light in my deck, I should be able to find them sooner rather than later. At this point, I'm really tempted to scout the NAPD, because I'm pretty sure he cannot get through my remote. It has a wall static protected by a Quandary, which means it's immune to Inside Job, and without a Corroder, he's not going to be able to get through that without a Femme Fatale. So I'm definitely looking to sneak an agenda out, probably even an Astro Script. If I draw an Astro Script right now, I'm going to try to score it in the secure remote. Alright, so I have 2 daily business shows out, but I'm not going to rest the second one. Why? because there are lots of Tricks of Light and Astro Scripts still in my deck. Don't forget, I haven't seen a single Astro Script and I've only seen one Trick of Light. The last thing I want to do is to draw 3 cards, see lots of Astro Scripts and Trick of Lights, but can only afford to keep one of them, having to discard the other 2 into the bottom of my deck. I don't want that to happen. So, one daily business show running is good enough. If he trashes the first one, I'll just res the second. And he attempts to contest my NAPD. Not gonna happen. Not today. Not without a Corroder. So I draw into my Shipma from Sensen, and I could use it on the NAPD, but nope, I decide to advance my Space Ice instead because I felt so confident that he couldn't siege my remote to get the NAPD. That's how confident I was. Without Corroder, he's not going anywhere, and I'm going to abuse that fact. I can leave the NAPD there, he's not going to steal it. In the meantime, I'm going to res the pet campaign, the last remote on my next turn, and hopefully I draw into Astro Scripts. I don't really want to score the NAPD. What I really want is the Astro Scripts because that will really speed up my game. And I know that there are lots of them left in my deck, so I need to draw them before he starts sieging R&D. I'm quite surprised that he hasn't run R&D a single time this game. Maybe he hasn't found his R&D interfaces yet, so count myself lucky for that, but I can't rely on that for the rest of the game, so I definitely want to dig for my Astro Script ASAP. Perhaps now is a good time to start digging for my Astro Script by resing all my daily business shows. We'll see. So I do res the Wormhole against him. It costs 0 credits because I used my shipment from Sensen on it earlier. So the whole server cost me 0 credits to res, and he has to pay lots of stealth credits to get through. That's the beauty of it. He had to pay 2 stealth credits to break Wormhole with Refractor and another one of his credits. So he's definitely going to get drained quite a bit. Thankfully for him, he's running lots of Ghost Runners, so he's kind of immune to Wormhole for now. Now I don't find my Astro Script. I could fast track it out, but he has reign over my HQ, so that's a very bad idea. So instead I do the next best thing. I score the agenda to bring me up to 4 points. So now at this point I can only hope that he doesn't top deck the Astro Script from my R&D because I need to find it. Oof, okay, he goes for the Count Siphon. Nothing I can do about that. In fact, it will help him because there's a pop-up window there, so now I have more credits. But of course I get rid of my credits by resing the next daily business show. So this is the scenario which I res my daily business show. And here's the wonderful thing. Because he did not contest my pet campaigns, I'm actually able to score this Astro Script even right after an account siphon. With 2 credits, I can Trick of Light and follow it up by an advancement. But I do not do that. Why not? Because at that moment, this is my first time playing this deck, I completely forgot that Trick of Light was not a double. I was thinking in my mind, first click install, second and third click Trick of Light. That's only 2 advancement tokens. That's not enough. I can't score this Astro Script. But I could. That's the whole point of playing Trick of Light, because you can fast advance the Astro Script like that. I completely forgot. I was so tired. I don't know what I was thinking. And yes, I paid for it. He obviously checked it because he has a Desperado out, so he steals my Astro Script. That was painful. That shouldn't have happened. Nope, that wouldn't have happened in a tournament situation. That was just unfamiliarity with how Trick of Light works, and that was a very stupid mistake that easily turned the game around. Now, this is the kind of hand I want to avoid seeing. This is the reason why you don't want to have 2 business shows active at one time. 2 Tricks of Light, you can only choose one. Dang. So yes, obviously I choose 1 Trick of Light. So now I actually have 2 Tricks of Light available to me, which means I can actually fast advance an NAPD out of hand even if I wanted to, which is pretty huge. With Astrobiotics, you almost can never do this without an Astro token anyway. So knowing that there are 2 more Astros in my R&D and I really want to see them, the most obvious thing to do at this point is to ice up R&D. Bear in mind that most of my R&D has been filtered through with daily business shows, so there's a very high chance I'll see Astro very soon. I don't really care about legworks or account siphons because this deck can operate from 0 credits, and this deck has no agendas because he does not contest my daily business shows. So there won't be. And yes, here you see once again, I draw 2 Astro Scripts, but I can only keep 1 of them. So here I finally do the correct combo, which is double advance and advance 1 more time to score the Astro. So now I'm on 6 points. And because I installed the Astro in a new server that turn. I drew with my Near of Heart ability into a build, the last agenda I needed to win. So even if he locks out my R&D, I have this game. Unless he searches my HQ. But previous turn, he already ran through with the legwork. He saw nothing, so he should know that there's no agendas in my hand, which is not right. There is an agenda, and it's going to cost him. So he performs an inside job on R&D, which is the right thing to do, in my opinion. Yes, he knows that it's a space ice outside. That's the downside of this deck. You telegraph what sort of ice is protecting your server when you advance it. So they know to use an inside job to bypass the big ice. Then, following that, after seeing nothing on top of R&D, he trashes both of my daily business shows. So now you see why it's a very smart thing that he did that. Of course, the trashing of daily business show came way too late, but he still did the right thing there, given the situation, because he actually locked my R&D. Had I not had a build in hand, I would have required at least one more turn to win during that, which he could easily wreak havoc over my hand and everything. But yes, the build was in my hand and I closed out the game, despite not seeing anything on top of R&D, thanks to him locking my R&D down. So you can see how powerful this deck type is against criminals. I really deterred him from running R&D with the inner wormhole. That really messes things up. And double wormhole just absolutely kills stealth ND because you require 4 stealth credits to get through R&D without the inside job. You only have so many stealth credits to use. His ghost runners were already half depleted. So he wouldn't have too many tries there, and he got quite unlucky because he revealed later in the game that he didn't see any of his R&D digging tools. But that's the other downside of stealth ND. When you're spending all your influence on cloaks, you don't have enough influence left over to dig through R&D, and that could be a problem. But that aside, I think you see the sheer importance of denying daily business shows early on. The daily business shows allowed me to filter through quite a few agendas, as well as accelerate the drawing of my Tricks of Light and Astroscript. Goodness knows how long I would have taken to win this game had I not been allowed to daily business show, because all the Astroscripts and Tricks of Light were stuck right at the bottom of my deck. That was pretty bad. The paired campaigns helped my game somewhat, but as you saw, credit denial has no effect on this deck because with a couple of paired campaigns running, I can simply score from hand even though he siphons me down to 0 the turn before. That, I think, is a very powerful statement, and it's a reason why I think this deck is definitely worth a shot. It's a pretty powerful deck. I'm still tweaking this deck with regards to the ice composition, but I think in its current iteration, 2 wormholes and 2 nebulas are the right call, especially because I don't pack any other sentries. I might be running a slightly different ice suite at the store championship, but it won't differ too much from this. Wish me luck. Thanks for watching. Happy net running. Goodbye.